Laura thought she had found a good deal online when she needed rubbish removed. But a dispute over the bill then turned toxic, and before she knew it, her driveway became a dumping ground, and neither side is backing down.
I've got a driveway full of dump mattresses. What a rubbish move. Excuse me.
Okay.
What are you doing?
You get a haircut, you got to pay for it. You go to the dentist, you got to pay for it.
Why though? Why come and dump 26 mattresses?
This is not a business where we can collect your rubbish for free.
Tuck yourself in for a mattress mess where neither side is prepared to lay down.
Take your pick. We've got poo stain ones, we've got Zara ones.
This bunch of bedding was dumped in Laura's driveway after a waste collection call-out turned toxic.
So my husband and I had been removing our retaining walls because they're old and rotten.
Laura and husband Jared contacted junk.com.au to collect leftover wood from their Melbourne home.
We had around 22 small sleepers that were rotten to get rid of. It was just over 1 cubic metre.
After making inquiries, Laura says Jared received this offer via text. The only price referenced, a $39 service fee. Laura says they confirmed and the wood was removed.
So later that day, my husband was picking up our little girl from school and he received the invoice via email. So he opened the invoice and he saw that it was $514. Which shocked him.
The invoice arriving around 3 p.m, a few hours after the wood was picked up.
He was forcing us to pay it by 5 o'clock that day and sending follow-ups before 5 o'clock, asking us and telling us it was 5 o'clock, you better pay. And he said, if you don't, there'll be ramifications.
The man she's referring to is Richard Fenari, owner of junk.com.au, who was previously featured on ACA over another payment dispute with truck driver Wayne Webster back in 2021.
All I want to do is get paid for what I'm entitled to.
38 hours after Richard's deadline, Laura's CCTV captures a junk.com.au truck arriving at her place and later found her driveway barricaded with the bedding.
It's embarrassing, all because we wanted to dispute a bill.
With the mattresses littering her street, Laura wrote apology letters to her neighbours, but says when Jared tried to speak to Richard about the price, there were no pleasantries.
We've never not paid an invoice or a bill ever. I don't think we've even disputed anything. We're good people, you know, we wouldn't rip anyone off.
Laura's subsequent social media post about the situation watched more than 400,000 times before it was taken down.
Absolutely unbelievable. Follow for more.
As we discussed the unwanted mattresses, a rumbling outside saw Laura spring into action.
A bit of a shock when it happened.
Yeah. Sorry, hang on a sec.
What's going on?
I think I can hear something.
What do you mean?
Hang on.
Junk.com.au was back, removing the mattresses.
What's it like working for Richard? I mean, don't you guys feel bad? Just so you know, when you do this next time, all I was doing was disputing the bill.
Excuse me. Seb Costello from A Current Affair. We're just trying to get in touch with Richard.
The message got through. A few days later, Richard Fenari was on the front foot, sitting down to share his side of the story.
For me to simply walk away from that client not paying would be a stand down. It would be an absolute insult to my staff, and it's not something that I would be prepared to do.
Richard says his website clearly states that in the event that the supplier has not been paid in full, the client agrees that the supplier can dump a similar amount of rubbish to what was originally collected back to the client's site address without notification.
I think it's very common in our industry. You will find that the bin and skip recycling businesses, if you don't pay for your skip and bin once they've picked it up, you'll find that they'll tip another one straight in your driveway. It's very, very common.
Richard also explains the $514 invoice. He says the $39 was a service fee, adding his team measured the wood pile at 2.5 cubic metres and charged Laura waste fees of $190 per cubic metre. Richard claims Jared told him he didn't want to pay at all. Jared strongly denies this.
If he had said, I'm happy to pay $400 or $300 or $200 or $1, but he didn't say anything. He actually wanted to pay zero. He wanted to pay nothing and in fact taunted us to give him the mattresses instead.
Richard has also provided records of texts between Jared and junk.com.au. On Richard's screenshots, an illustration explaining the $190 per cubic metre waste fee appears to have been sent. But on Laura's version, it appears that she didn't receive the illustration explaining the fees.
I took the call from Jared. I said, well, if you don't want to pay anything, the alternative is that we will return the same volume or value of waste to the property neatly and put it back.
But was dumping the mattresses in their driveway really just a soft standover tactic?
No, certainly not. I think there's a difference between stand over and stand up. And my job is to stand up for my people, my staff, my brand, my business, the industry, and not to allow people to simply have a $100,000 truck, 2 men, clean up their property and turn around and say, I'm going to pay you nothing. You've got to be careful what you wish for sometimes. They asked us to take them there and we did.